sharp and adorable. Aww.
Yeah, he's still got his puppy teeth.
Wait till they'll start falling out. It's like the scariest thing in the world.
This show has its puppy teeth still because it's still very young.
Nah, we're in season 2. We've already worked out the kinks. We know what we're doing.
This doesn't feel very worked out to me. This feels like a pretty big kink. This is Peeves and Cues. Hi, you guys. This is a not-so-weekly podcast where we ask each other questions and talk about what's annoying us each and every week. How are you guys? No, who are you guys? Who's with me? We have the Clever Girl.
Hi!
We have our Coif Man.
Why am I here?
And our one-time guest.
Hi.
And now I'll ask you how you guys are doing. What's up?
Good.
Good.
We just saw each other, so I know
Yeah.
you can't be like, hey, how was your week?
After last episode where we talked about how difficult it was to get started again, we decided to jump in head first and get another one out. So, we're all here together in a new location temporarily.
Yes.
Not that matters much to them.
No, you probably won't.
They won't get the new aesthetic.
Right.
Unless
we
it
will.
starts making noise.
Yeah. It smells nice in here. It smells
does.
like remodeling stuff.
Yes. We have done a lot of remodeling.
Cool. Alright, well that's how we were, so pretty much the same as last week. Some of us are pretty tired.
Oh, I'm fine now.
Now you're fine?
I'm fine.
Okay, cool. Alright, so I guess we'll just jump right into it then with our Peeves segment. Who wants to go first?
Me. I'll go first. So my peeve, I figured out on the way over. My peeve is when people are turning the corner in an intersection.
Yeah.
It's usually a lighted intersection. It's usually not just like a four-way stop. But when people drive over the line cutting that corner of your stop mark and the yellow line,
Yeah.
they cut through. But then they look at you if you're actually at the line.
Right. As if you're too close to them.
Yeah, as if you are driving like an idiot. How dare you be so inconsiderate? You almost caused them to hit you.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I got you.
That's my peeve this
It's
week.
like people making too sharp a left turn.
Yeah,
Right.
And they're like coming in hot.
They're not realizing that you actually got to get a little bit into the intersection before you start that turn.
Or like they don't want to do what you're actually supposed to do and correct as you drive.
Sure.
They just want to like
Follow through.
they just sort of want to make this sort of really smooth curve. It just you're gonna hurt somebody, people.
It's really annoying.
Drive safe.
Yeah. Good peeve.
Yeah, that's my peeve this week.
That's a good
What's
one.
up? What's up with you?
My
What are you
peeve-
doing here?
I'm living.
You're a one-time guest.
Hey, you guys don't have enough friends, so I had to come
That's-
back.
I guess.
That's accurate. Okay, go home.
My peeve is puppies and how they're kind of dicks.
Hey. You're talking about our super special guest.
Yeah, so for those of you who know nothing about our podcast, and obviously you can't see this, we usually do this in the apartment of a couple of our members, but this time we had to do it at my home because I have a puppy, and we have finally, for the most part, gotten him housebroken, but he is now sick, so I have to be here to make sure he does not defecate in the house.
He is the most adorable animal I've ever seen in my life.
A little baby husky, light brown fur, blue eyes, cute, and a dick. He bites people.
Yeah, he's a super dick. I officially can say that he is, because he will not leave my feet alone. And now that I put my shoes on, he just won't leave my shoelaces alone. But
I made the joke before we started recording that it looks just like one of the direwolves from Game of Thrones in like the first season when they're baby wolves.
You know, poopies.
What's that?
When they're poopies.
what?
No.
Puppies.
When they're
They're
what?
puppies.
Oh, okay.
Ew, way to make it gross.
Yeah, no one calls them that.
He's giving it the German U.
Oh,
true.
with the umlaut or whatever it's
Yeah.
called.
Ugh. Well, that makes me not like puppies, but whatever.
So yeah, my peeve is dogs being dicks, even though they're adorable. Because you can't be mad at them because they're cute, and it's just like,
And they're just he's having so much fun just running around.
adorable little asshole.
What about you? What's up?
My peeve of the week happens to be work related, which we haven't had in a while. Well, since like 2 episodes ago or
It
whatever.
feels like everything's been a while since.
Well, at my office this week, whatever day it was, and it was lunchtime, and then all of a sudden I go to clock out at lunch, and one of my coworker comes up and says, "Hey, they just fired so-and-so." And I was like, "What? In the middle of the day?" And they're like, "Yeah." And granted, this person, I kind of saw it coming for this person, but like to do it in the middle of the day, and then what my peeve really is the wording that they used on the note that they stuck on the break room.
Wow.
They said, "Just to let everyone know, so-and-so does not work at our establishment anymore, or is not an employee of da-da-da-da-da."
I feel that deserves like a real memo.
Yeah, I was like, or hey, how about we group together before we go back from lunch? Like,
Seems, a little bit more important than a post-it.
yeah, it was literally like hung up on the cabinet in the break room.
Wow.
And then you're just like, what? So tactile, I mean, I thought this person was a okay worker, probably not up to our standards, but she still deserved more credit than that.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's my peeve this week.
That's really lame.
But I would even argue the reverse of that. I think when people get fired, they really shouldn't say anything about it. It should just be so-and-so has left our team. Because honestly, what if they don't want people to know they got fired? What if they just want to be like, "Oh, I quit. It's no big deal."
Well, they didn't say fired, but they
Okay,
But they
all
did. They said no, is no longer an employee here. But
Right.
That language is pretty indicative.
yeah, exactly. Like, and they do. And what my office has, what I'm sure a bunch of offices have, is they have the at will clause. Yeah. And it just sounds so scary that like literally I could walk in one day and they could just be like, "Bye," and they don't have to give me a reason of why. But in turn, I could do the same thing to them. Like, "Okay, bye."
Well, that's statewide now,
Yeah,
which is unfortunate.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was my view this week. The tact in which it was handled was not right.
It does feel like the kind of thing that you just like get everyone together for and just, say like a word or two about it.
Yeah, in person or maybe a private email. I don't know. It's just like too much.
Something about that feels weird. Yeah, good one. All right, so mine is DC movies because
You don't say.
I don't want to give an entire podcast to this because
Because we've already done that.
We did that for Marvel.
We did a Marvel
DC
one.
No, I
deserves
mean, we did that
yeah,
just.
and plus we complain about it a lot.
Yeah.
But come on, DC, jeez, with the Suicide Squad and all.
It was not that bad.
It wasn't as bad as Batman versus Superman, but not up to standards.
You are more disappointed than you are absolutely angry that this is a terrible, terrible movie.
It's not terrible.
I am incredibly disappointed, but setting that aside, I do think this movie is worse than Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Absolutely not.
Because Batman v
you
Superman,
have lost your goddamn
Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice was enjoyable for me. I was able to like get something from that film. They were trying to go for a style, whereas
so was
Suicide Squad was just a mess from beginning to end, where it tried to do one thing and then started to do other stuff in the middle, and it just didn't make any sense.
I know we have a trend on this podcast about how you'll say your peeve and I either dismiss it or go against it, but I'm completely going to fight you on this one. That Suicide Squad.
Does Suicide Squad have a clear first, second, third act?
No.
Yes, it does.
No,
I think it
doesn't.
does.
Yes, it does.
No, the Suicide Squad
Introduction, climax, ending.
The Suicide Squad, they had a mission that was like forgotten about halfway through, and then they just decided to do something else that wasn't even.
That was the turning
They
point.
completed the mission.
Yeah.
The mission was to get Amanda Waller,
Right, and they got her.
and then she was taken again.
And so they went back after her.
No, then they were like, let's just go into after
I mean, that
Enchantress
wasn't
instead.
real.
And then after they stopped Enchantress, Amanda Waller came out and was just like, also, I'm in this movie still. Don't forget about me.
Spoilers.
Whatever. There's no spoiling this
I
movie.
would completely disagree. I think Suicide Squad's the best thing DC has ever done for a movie. Because...
I will argue.
Ooh, I'll even argue with that.
Okay,
Stop. Let me finish my argument before you jump on it. Okay. I'm not counting the animated things, because the animated films are great.
Sure.
As far as their live action, if you're not a DC fan, you just don't give a shit. Because I didn't. I haven't cared about... other than The Dark Knight was good, but I don't think it is... I think it's cinematically a great film. I don't think it's the greatest film ever, which some people do.
I do.
Suicide Squad made me actually care about the story. I actually invested in the characters and I gave a shit what was going on. I was entertained, which is the primary value of movies. It is the only DC movie that I would watch a second time, that I've seen. And of course that is my opinion. Mm-hmm. But I stand by that it was entertaining, it was well written. I disagree that there are that they're not an organized act structure. And yeah, it's the only one where I've really seen the characters and thought, yeah, I care about them. I care where they're going.
I think it's funny that you actually put The Dark Knight in. I don't even think of The Dark Knight as a DC movie. Yeah, it's Batman, but it's not part of the DC universe.
Because we need to distinguish between DC's live action stuff their cinematic universe.
Right.
Now they've established a cinematic universe that is completely separate from before.
Right.
But yeah, it's the only DC movie that I would watch a second time.
Wow.
I would watch it a second time, which is something I would not do with Batman versus Superman. Yeah. I don't think I will ever watch that movie again. But, again, that's also my opinion.
I feel like Man of Steel was the most solid of the three that they put out so far. Just like from start to finish. And maybe you don't care so much about like the events of the movie and like
certain choices, sure.
Yeah.
Overall aesthetic, sure.
See, it's weird. I feel like talking about Man of Steel, I don't want to like spoil it because I'm like, go out and watch Man of Steel. It's a good movie. But with Suicide...
if you haven't watched it, like, what are you doing?
It's been a while.
I haven't seen it, so I can say that.
Well, you're not going to, probably.
If you say it's good.
I mean, it's not...
I'm invested now in this universe, so I guess
the only way I feel you could ever give a shit about the Superman character in BVS DOJ is if you had seen Man of Steel.
Yeah.
I guess.
Like, if you didn't if you went into BVS DOJ having not seen that movie, you're just like, what the fuck am I watching?
And that's exactly what I did, and that movie made me want to go watch Superman, which is something I've never wanted to do because I don't really like Superman.
Let's be honest, that is not even... Like, I'm really not, like, nitpicking semantics with titles, but that is not Superman. Like, it's called Man of Steel.
Okay.
But he is not Superman in that movie.
And that's not Batman.
No.
In BVS DOJ.
No, that is not Batman.
So, you...
Which is funny because it's not Joker either in Suicide Squad.
And it's not Lex Luthor. That was the Joker in BVS DOJ.
Pretty much, yeah.
Lex Luthor as the Joker. But...
Hopefully with Jeff Johns taking the reins at DC Entertainment,
hopefully
things will
fingers crossed.
A little better.
You and I we've obviously talked a lot about this, and the one thing that I think the one thing that we all agree on is that Superman should smile.
Yes,
in the DC movies.
Jesus Christ!
And I don't think we've seen that, and that's real weird. Unless he's Clark Kent, but who cares about Clark Kent? We need Superman to smile. So my final thought on Suicide Squad would just be like it just there were like 2 or 3 different movies going on there that I think they threw together, and I don't feel if that was true for the other DC films. I feel like Man of Steel was just solid whole way through, and then BVS DOJ was very convoluted, and they tried to throw a ton in there, but it at least felt like the same movie the whole way through. That's my thing. So
differing opinions, but good. Yeah. Someone out there will agree with you.
Yeah, someone.
No one at this table, but someone out there will.
That's fine.
And that's fine. Yeah.
You can be the redheaded stepchild of our group in this topic.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right, so let's move on to questions. Who wants to...
I'll go. Yeah,
cool.
I can go. Yes, it's just to keep in with the order before. I'm going to give just a little bit of background. That way I don't come across as like the most morbid person at the table.
Okay.
In the last year and a half, I have had to attend or be a part of, in some capacity, a lot of funerals.
Yeah.
Just more in the last year and a half than the entire rest of my life combined. And on our way here, we passed a cemetery that I drive past almost every day going to school. And so when you do that, when you tend to pass a cemetery a lot, you tend to come across the procession, the processional with the cars. Mm-hmm. And my question is, What when you are driving and you see a processional, like any other way, like we all know what we feel or do when it's in the same going the same direction. Oh Christ! Shit!
Yeah, definitely.
Oh
Yep.
God! Screwed. But when you
It's
see
gonna
it,
be late.
when
Yeah.
you see it coming the other way, what do you? I don't know. What's your immediate reaction? Like, what do you do? What do you think? And for me, I am constantly listening to music in the car.
Yeah.
There are very few times where I am driving and I don't have some sort of music or the radio or a podcast on.
Right.
When I see a processional coming, I turn my music off. No matter what it is. Because, I don't know, like, I feel like if this processional knew that ordinary people were just driving, whizzing by, listening to music as someone who is really close to them, either a cousin or a friend or a brother or a child or a parent, and just some fuckwit was driving next to them,
And like,
you know, screaming American Idiot. I don't know. Like I don't know. So I
Singing the reprise of "I'll Cover You" from Rent.
Right.
Well, that's
yeah,
pretty
That was very specific
on the
to
nose,
me, wasn't it?
On the nose.
Yeah. So I turn my music off until the last car. I mean, it can be immediate. Like the last car can like just barely pass me. Turn the radio back on or music back on. So that's me.
Huh. I want to say a point about
Yeah.
that. Is I would argue as because I've lost people, and what I always feel is that I want things to continue as they were. I don't want to feel like this is the end, despite everything. So I would argue that if I were in a funeral procession, I would want to imagine that everyone else is just living their lives and doing their thing because that's what I think about that. Just as a brief little.
well, we might as well you give your opinion. We'll go this way.
I don't know, really. I don't know the last time I've seen a funeral procession. It's been a very long time. The last one I was in, which was like 2 or 3 years ago.
1 year ago.
Only a year?
Yeah.
Only 1 year. I don't know that I change anything, really. I just keep going. I'm usually listening to podcasts. If I am like, I like to sing in the car a lot.
Yes.
And I'll usually, like, in situations like that, or same as if I like pull up to a red light or something, I'll usually stop it, just that I'm not like singing at the top of my lungs and like people can hear me or can see me or whatever, and then I'm like super awkward about it. Then I'll switch it to a podcast or something, but that's me. Yeah.
Well, it's very odd that I ever like am passing an entire.
Yeah.
I usually am stopped because they're like turning in front of me. That's usually what happens to me.
Yeah.
And when that does happen, I don't listen to music in the car, so I don't ever have to worry about my music. But it's very hard to. I usually will put on like sunglasses so I don't have to like stare directly into the faces of the people who are mourning. And sunglasses are kind of dark and so kind of a mourning sense. One thing I do and this doesn't really have to do with the processional, but every time that I drive by a cemetery, I do hold my breath for like
Oh yeah.
for like all the people who are dead there who don't get to breathe anymore. It seems like rude to be breathing. Isn't that weird? And
That is an odd, yeah.
No, that makes sense,
I
though.
don't hold my breath if it's like the longest cemetery ever, but like if I'm walking through Arlington Cemetery, I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Oh,
They'll
Jesus.
just go away. But
That'd be rough.
That makes sense.
but when I'm driving by, I do that, and I think about those people who are there. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
So I'm a terrible driver, and I never notice people coming the other direction. So I would be completely
What?
oblivious. I only know the lane I'm in, and any other lane going that direction. I'm a bad driver.
Ooh, you are gonna get hit head on one day because you're not paying attention to the other lane.
Well, if they swerve into my lane, I'm going to see them coming.
You're supposed to be observant of all of your surroundings. when
I
driving.
know. That's why I preface with I'm a bad driver.
Wow.
Have you wrecked any cars?
No.
Have you ever been in a car accident?
Once. It was my first week driving. I was coming out of a pizza place. I was 16, so of course I was grabbing a slice as I was pulling out of the parking lot.
Thinking you were so cool.
I looked left. I looked right. I had to wait And then I went without looking left again, and a car was coming. Now, it was literally no damage, because my bumper hit her tire. There wasn't even a scuff mark. It was actually kind of remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just kind of drove away like, oh, well, that was distracting. And so then I went home and ate my pizza.
Was it good?
Very.
Awesome. That would have been a good question.
I know.
Have you ever been in a car accident? You blew it. You blew it!
Maybe that is my question.
Okay, and we're transitioning right into the next question.
Nope, it's my turn now.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
shit.
Or your turn. My turn?
You might as well go.
What is coming up in the nearby future that you're the most excited
Oh,
about?
I got my answer already. Go ahead.
I am really excited to see what happens in the... I'm going to go back to comic book movies again. The Marvel Universe after Infinity War happens. Because they've, months in advance, years in advance, they've released their block of, we're putting out these movies. But all the lists end with Infinity War, and I'm really excited to see, where they go after that. Because presumably there'll be, a new team of Avengers. The old guard will be out, and they'll have a new... and I want to know, what the new stories will be, what the new characters will be like. I'm really excited, because one thing that I miss is back when, Iron Man and Captain America happened, you didn't really know what was going on. In The Incredible Hulk, when Iron Man showed up, it was this big thing at the end when you're like, oh, that's Tony Stark, that's from Iron Man, I just saw Iron Man, and now Tony Stark's in this. Because unless you were a hardcore fan, you didn't know who Nick Fury was. I didn't know who Nick Fury was. It was just I'm putting a team together or something. It's called the Avengers Initiative or something like that. It's okay, I don't really know what this means, but once a character you knew show up in another movie you just saw, then your mind is blown. And it was exciting because you're any movie you went to see in that time, you were I wonder if Captain America's going to show up in it or whatever. So, I'm excited. I'm hoping that they go back to that instead of being so, front-loaded and forward-thinking.
Yeah, how dare they plan ahead?
No, just don't announce
Bastards.
it. No,
Don't announce it.
obviously they were planning ahead when they put out Iron Man, but they didn't.
Right.
They didn't tell us. It's hey, we're going to put out these 4 or 5 movies and then the Avengers. So get ready for that. Instead, it was just you were excited for it, and then the Avengers happened, and then they were now we're going to make all these movies through the year 2023. So live your life by our schedule. So I'm really excited to see what happens after that because it's a new frontier, new Avengers frontier.
Yeah. So what's your question?
What are you looking forward to in the future?
Oh, that's right. I was what? I got so wrapped up in that I forgot you even asked a question.
Yeah.
I was so engrossed. Yes.
Well, that's good, I guess. So what's coming up that you're excited for?
Okay.
Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Halloween is coming up, my favorite time of year.
Yeah.
It seems like October I try to cram in as most fall activities as I can. Whether it be from orchards to haunted houses, even though I don't go through haunted houses, but working for them or just getting all the stuff together. I haven't gone out on Halloween in forever. Usually we're at a con, but this year we won't be, so it'll be exciting to see what we actually do if someone has a party or whatever.
Yeah.
More grand scheme, getting a house. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
Whenever it happens, but it's always on my mind. So
Sweet.
those are my goals.
Yeah, I'd say the thing I'm most excited for is next Tuesday, by the time this comes out, a few Tuesdays ago,
Probably.
school will have started again, and I'm just super excited. So this year I have some classes that I've been really looking forward to. For those who don't know, which might be, because I can never remember what I said on this podcast, I'm a theater major with creative writing.
I think every single.
They know what you study and they know where you work.
This is episode 9, so they've heard it 9 times by now.
Right. So I'm a theater major, and I have a minor in creative writing. And this year I get to take all the great upper-level classes. I get to take an acting studio class, improv, creative writing, advanced fiction.
Oh, wow.
And then I have to take a literature elective, and I'm doing something I've been looking forward to for a while, the Bible as literature.
Oh,
Looking at the story of the New Testament as an epic novel instead of as a religious text.
that's cool.
Right. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Who's the main character?
Jesus.
Okay. Only for
Don't get mad. Just let us know what it is.
only for the last half, though, right?
Well,
Like
New
the rest-
Testament. The Old Testament is a different class entirely.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing, you know, just absolutely nothing about that subject.
I know some stuff. I know Jesus is in the book. Anyway.
Then why'd you ask?
Because I didn't know if he was the main character. Let's move on.
Joseph Smith is our main character.
Oh, wow, it's one of those. Okay. Brigham Young shows up halfway through.
Alrighty.
Shots fired. Anyways.
Quaffin. Unless you want to.
No. So your thing is on Tuesday. On Wednesday, the next day, the department, the same theater department, is having auditions for the fall show. And I have to audition for every show in the department because I signed my life away. That's accurate. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Auditioning for the show Next to Normal. Yeah. Really looking forward to it.
That's a really good show.
Great show.
One of, what, is it 6 now with Hamilton? Shows that have won a Pulitzer Prize?
Musicals?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
I know it's a low
know
number,
figure.
but it was either the 5th one, I think. Yeah, it's a pretty great show. Everyone should look it up.
It's you're gonna cry.
Yes.
Look it up.
It's not a...
Don't look it up because the Wikipedia page
Yeah.
in the second sentence gives like a big thing away.
But-
Either go and watch it
Yeah.
if there's a local theater,
It's on
or
YouTube.
you know,
The whole Broadway show is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
If
good.
you don't have a moral thing against illegally recorded shows, which, of course, I'm
I
an
don't.
actor, so I don't.
Right.
I'm going to watch everything all the time.
We're a pirate. We steal.
Steal what we want.
Yar.
What we want.
Take nothing back. Cool.
That's what I'm excited for.
Yeah. I hope you get in, and I hope
Me
I
too.
can go see it.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
It's gonna be good.
Awesome.
Is it good?
That's cool.
Yes, you didn't have to take it there. Like,
I did.
I already did that, but I understated it, so
Because
it
It's
worked.
Gonna Be Good is the name of one of the songs in the show.
Yes.
And it's a joke.
and you just dug it even further
I
into the
did.
ground.
That was my joke. You have a
your
question for
question?
us?
My
You have a question
question
for us so we can get out of this?
is actually I have to ask Quaffman a question before I ask my question. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then my question is, how many siblings do you have, and what is your relationship with them? Yeah,
Oh,
right.
sweet Jesus.
I have one older sister who is 4 years older than me, and we could not be more different. In every frickin' way. I hope that you would agree.
Yeah,
with
oh,
that.
I do.
When we were younger, I just absolutely hated her, and rightfully so. She did some pretty shitty stuff. But as we've gotten older, we get along better. But I can't take anything she says seriously, and I just question her life judgments
Yeah.
all the time. Which I think, as siblings, we're the only people that are truly allowed to do that and to completely say our opinion to our siblings, because I guess at the end of the day, they know that we're trying to keep, their best interest in mind.
Yeah.
So that's me. I'm the youngest, in case my personality couldn't push that. But yep, one sister.
Everyone get their notepads out. I'm about to weave a story here. So I actually have 7 siblings.
Whoa.
I have an older sister who has died, which makes me the oldest living sibling I have. I'm not my own sibling, but you get it.
Yes.
Through my mom, I have 3 step-siblings, 2 brothers and a sister, and then through my dad, I have 2 half-sisters and a step-sister. My oldest step-brother is a great guy. We're good friends. We don't hang out as much now that now that we don't live together. But, yeah, he's a pretty great guy. My younger stepbrother, he's getting his stuff together, which is nice. We're not that close. My stepsister, again, we're not that close. But on the other side, I have my oldest half-sister, who is a little over a year younger than me. And we're not very close, we both lived with our moms, so we didn't see each other that often, and we just kind of never had that much in common. And then as far as my 2 stepsisters, yeah, I wish I could be involved in their lives more because, I'm the older brother, they look up to me and they're like, yay, he's here. And it sucks I can't see them more, but, I'm trying to build a career in the entertainment industry, and it takes a lot of time, and it's a pain in the ass. But yeah, so I have a lot of siblings,
Yeah.
You do. I've only heard you ever talk about your 2 younger ones, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Wow.
Well, that sounds like you're the crown jewel of all of them.
I don't like to say that. Actually, I would say my.
I don't like to say that.
My stepsister.
I like to agree to it, though.
Oh, cool my stomach. You're bleeding.
This dog is being very disruptive to our podcast.
My stepsister on my dad's side is probably the one who's the most successful at the moment. She's actually really good at violin. And
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, she has an actual skill, which is more than I can say about me.
Yeah.
But bum.
So yeah, that's my my family lineage.
This is gonna sound.
This podcast brought
I
to you
know.
in surround sound.
I know this is gonna sound real weird. It is in stereo, so sweet. Wow, that was quite the tale.
Yes, that was quite a family tree.
There will be a test at the end, link in the description.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I don't know if I could pass. I was.
I don't know if I could pass, and I'm here.
All right, what about Quackman?
Yeah, I have 2 younger siblings. I'm the oldest. I have one biological sister and one stepsister who I've known since she was just over a year old, so she's just my baby sister. So yeah, I have 2 sisters. Tori, who is the oldest of the 2 sisters, she's gonna be 20, and she is... What's our language filter on this podcast?
You can say whatever you want.
Jody dropped the big one last time.
Did I?
Yeah,
Did
yeah,
I
you
say
did.
the C word?
Yes, you did.
I left it in.
I think I can say that because I'm a woman, but that's a different subject.
She is, she's a bit of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a bit of a control freak. A bit selfish.
She gonna download the episode. Listen to it.
Doubt it.
Okay, good.
Doubt it.
I don't think she knows where I live.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, she knows I live in Michigan. Spoilers.
Yeah. Well, they know exactly where we are by now. If they haven't figured it out.
Yeah, she's just a bit of a bitch. We don't get along much, which is unfortunate because I honest to God try to have a relationship with her, and she just doesn't want it. Just doesn't care. Doesn't. No. What can I give her? What can I bring?
Right.
You know. Which is weird because she's my younger sister. It'd be like, you know what I mean? Like if you're older, I don't know. But then there's Caitlin. She's 14. She's a cheerleader, academic, honor student. We get along really well. Mm-hmm. In fact, she just called me the other day to ask if I could help her with some homework.
Oh.
Like that's
Wow.
yeah. She's great. I love her to death. Yeah, I felt like I helped raise her. So
Cool.
yeah.
It's just that your family dynamic is really cool because your sisters live
In Tennessee.
in Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah.
So your whole family has to make the effort both ways to really stay in touch.
All right. Mm-hmm. Well, for me, I have. I'm the oldest. I have 2 younger siblings. I have my brother Adam, who's 21, almost
20.
20. Okay, and he has joined the Navy, and so he's down in Florida with that whole situation. And we're very dissimilar to each other. Like he's a Call of Duty person, and I am a Portal person. I feel like that's a good summary.
Yes.
That definitely was.
He has exactly like one super nerdy thing about him, and that's that he plays Magic the Gathering, which I'm not into.
But he
at
does
all.
it like a fucking business.
Yeah, no, seriously, he's like all about
He
it.
seriously does.
It's like here he's it's Adam, Navy, Magic, and then any other attributes about him like that he is. Oh, he's the middle child, and like you can tell, like he has classic middle child syndrome.
He always has to be the center of attention.
Right.
Like constantly.
Yeah. And he's cool. I don't hate him or anything.
I've known Adam for about 5 years now, and when I met him, he obviously was like 15 or 14, but watching him grow into this young adulthood, sometimes I'm just like, I fear for you, so I kind of feel like what it's like to have children.
Yeah.
And if you don't, they can either go one way or the other. I think he'll straighten out in the end.
Hopefully.
But He's definitely hitting some rocks right now.
I also have a younger sister, Amanda. She's 15, almost 16, and she's a wild child.
That is
A terrifying
hard
age.
for me to hear.
What?
Because I've known
Yeah,
you
yeah.
for what?
I don't
like,
know. Since she was like 10.
Probably 10 years.
Yeah.
You've known him 10 years.
Yeah, like
so.
9 years.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
man.
pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
she's driving.
Oh.
Is the scariest thing in the
Amanda
world.
is driving?
Yeah, not by herself.
Close.
But close.
People get off the road.
Go far, far away
Run.
from Michigan.
Yeah, so I feel two ways about my younger sister. On the one hand, I feel like we're very close because we both are very similar in a lot of like our interests and stuff and our personalities, and so I feel like we're both living in the same world. Unlike I feel like it's different with my brother and I.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he and I have very different experiences.
I think a lot of that attributes, if I may interject, that like you and Amanda look exactly alike.
That's true.
Meaning that you both have red hair and you seriously look exactly the same. And then Adam is the milkman's baby. Who knows where he came from?
Yeah,
but
seriously. And so Amanda and I like have this it feels like we have the same like life experience where we're just, like we have camaraderie there. So I feel like we're really close to her, but at the same time, she can be a huge brat. Like she's just very much, and I don't want to get into too much detail, but like my parents just don't tell her to do they tell her to do things, but then they don't make her do things. And so at this point, she just like does her own thing.
she's the steroid version of the youngest child.
Yeah.
Of where rules have no longer applied and parents have stopped raising children because they've already done it. So, parents, don't do that. Do not do that.
Well, you see, the problem is they had Alex, and they're like, oh, we had a good kid. And then they had Adam, and then they're like, oh, that was a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
they had the
now
youngest
they
one, it's
just
like,
kept going, and they're
fuck
like,
it,
I don't know what
I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, her being the only girl, too, they say all the time, they're like, I don't know what to do. I've been in this family for about 5 years. How about ask me what it's like to have daughters or sisters or, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But, whatever.
Yeah, so that's me. I also have like a dog who's really awesome.
You don't have the dog.
He's my,
I mean, that is
he's my dog.
is your dog.
I would take him if we got a house together. I would take that dog out of that house. He's a big sweetie. Sprocket. He looks like Sprocket from Fraggle Rock. Because that's why we named him that. That's it. That's me.
Well, cool. I know a little bit more about all of you, and I'm
Not
very
me.
happy. I mean, yeah, because you never verbalize what you feel about your siblings.
That's true. I never verbalize anything. I'm silent until we turn the podcast down.
Pretty much.
All right. You asked a question and we all answered it.
Yep.
Now it's your turn.
What's your one question?
Why are you taking your glasses off?
It's a
Because it's
dramatic,
dramatic.
dramatic question.
So last episode, we had a wonderful question
I forgot.
about what superhero we would want to be.
Yeah.
And then we followed it up with a bonus question of, what superhero does everyone think the other people are?
Yeah.
Well, let's flip that coin.
What?
All right.
Two-Face.
What supervillain do you think you would be? And as a counter to that, after we go around, everyone else assigning what supervillain they think each other would
crap.
That's going to be difficult, but okay.
be.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a good time.
And yours?
So if I were to assign myself to a supervillain, and it's probably a very popular answer, but I have, I think of a deep enough meaning behind it, the Joker. Because I've seen philosophical breakdowns of the Joker, and his philosophy and mine are relatively similar. There are some major differences in the fact that I don't like to kill people.
Sure.
But he is, many people draw to the conclusion that he is a nihilist, and I also am somewhat of a nihilist. The difference is he is an active nihilist, and I am an optimistic nihilist, which is, of course, a contradiction. But, hey, people are allowed to contradict themselves.
I disagree that it's a contradiction.
Thank you.
That
That's
is okay. So, moving on to Quaffman.
Harry Osborn.
Ooh.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's a good one. Do you want to...
Just I don't know. Like I have always in the 90s and 90s comics at that point like the Spider-Man run, Harry Osborn was really kind of the big bad to Spider-Man. It wasn't Norman at that point. Norman was in the picture, but he was doing some kind of weird things.
Yeah.
He was still
Mary
the Green
Jane.
Goblin.
Mary Jane. Nice callback.
Thank you.
Yeah. But, yeah, Harry was just... And he was also a villain because everyone said he was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because at that point in comics, I remember reading this like as a kid and not getting why, like, because as a kid, well, Harry Osborn and Peter Parker, they're friends, you know. But I was like, why is Peter being a dick without saying
Knowing
being
what a dick was.
Right?
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's a guttural response.
right?
Sure.
Yeah, it's just that
What a dick!
why is Peter, being so mean to Harry? And then literally, like, there are panels and panels of Harry just like grumbling away, like, are you kidding me? Like, this is why I hate you.
Yeah.
So I feel if I were to ever become a villain, that would be why.
Yeah.
Just like
just so
not
deep-rooted.
not giving any fucks about like friendships or like, and it would just be whole hog. Like, all right, we're done. My life purpose is to just screw you over.
So if that ever happens, I feel like Connor will kill me
Uh-oh.
because
Yikes.
yes,
So I'm Spider-Man here?
apparently.
If you're here, I'm Spider-Man.
I mean, sure.
Awesome, I'll take it. Yeah. Stay away from Jody if you ever turn evil. I mean,
I think he will stop caring about your opinion.
Yeah, I guess he won't care.
I guess. I mean,
Don't push me there, man.
that's
That's the whole point. Is like Harry wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna be. It's he was pushed.
Yeah.
I guess
Don't push me there.
if you marry me, that technically is I'm Mary Jane and not Gwen Stacy.
Because
so.
Mary's in the name. Well, mine is
Wow.
Not exactly.
also the Joker.
Yes. Yes.
It's just it's pretty much a lot of the same reasons. I feel like there's this, societal construct of rules and things, and none of those things are true. They're just made up, and a lot of people don't think of it that way. And my whole, I want people to see it that way. Obviously, you and I don't go to such extreme ends as say, the Joker, but
Right.
it's the principle of the thing.
Right.
So-
Some men just want to watch their world burn. Some want to say, hey, that thing, that's not really a thing.
It's why I won't be voting for Trump, but if he gets voted in, I'll be like, all right, let's watch. Let's get the popcorn ready. This is exciting.
Why'd you have to take it to such a dark
I know.
place?
Why do you have to say that?
Yeah, if someone want to watch the world burn, it's not dark enough. We have to bring Trump into it.
If he gets elected, I'm finishing college and moving to Kenyatta.
Kenyatta. There was a movie about that with Bush that Seth Brecken or whatever his name is was in.
Okay.
Anyway,
My turn. I'm also going to pick a Batman villain. I'm going to pick Poison Ivy because, and this is going to be such a sad reason, but growing up didn't date.
So sad.
So sad I don't want to say it. Growing up didn't date a lot, didn't get attention a lot from guys, wasn't really focused on it in high school too much, but as I just get older, and then I started dating you, so then I didn't have to worry too much about what other people thought, but it's an alter ego to think of someone just being a sex symbol, because I completely believe that is all Poison Ivy has really going on for her. Harley Quinn has a lot of stuff going on, Catwoman, all
there's layers to those.
Talia,
characters.
yeah, all of those. But just Poison Ivy, unless you guys have a rebuttal, but I completely think that she's just a sex symbol. So that would just
I
be
think she's utilized very poorly.
I think she has the potential for great character,
Yeah.
but no one's taking it there because
Yeah.
it's a dark place.
Okay, so as of 2016,
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see what
sex
happens.
your arguments there.
so DC, you've heard it. I guess we want more out of Poison Ivy.
Yeah. I just want to make a brief point to say that, and I'm not saying that you're saying this, but other people will claim that that's bad for female characters to be written as sex symbols, and I just want to make a point that that's not a bad thing, because that is a choice that character makes to be
There are
like
people
that.
in life
Right.
that just do that.
Right, there is power in choosing to be sexual.
Right.
Yeah.
But people will be like,
Right.
oh, this character dresses skimpy and talks really sexy, so it's just like a really,
Right. Right.
Now, is it
Anti-feminist.
fan service in this case? Yeah, it
I
is.
mean, it's writers drawing her
It's
that
wherever
way.
It
you want
is.
to. It's however
Right.
you want to interpret
Well,
it.
an example of that comes up in life. So I write, and Connor writes, and Connor.
I also write.
Yeah, Alex writes. Connor,
I write too, guys. Gosh, no, I'm just kidding. I don't.
So Connor has a specialty for writing really strong women, and I love it. He writes some of the best female characters I've ever read. I don't write particularly strong characters in general. I write characters. I like to focus on flaws.
Yeah.
Ooh,
You
that's
write
interesting.
broken characters, male and female, very well.
Right. So
You tooted my horn, I'm going to toot your horn.
So I write this script, the pilot for a television show that I call Rockstars, about these high schoolers trying to make a band. And the introduction of a female character is literally her asking about a cute boy. And of course, Connor's reading through because he's one of my people I have read scripts.
Okay, I know where this. I'm just saying, I know where this is going.
They're gonna fight.
and my argument is locked and loaded.
All right, Peeves versus Q's.
And before he got the chance to finish the scene, he brought it up, and I said, "Well, keep reading, you'll understand." But I don't think that's problematic because, yeah, she wanted to have sex with him because she wanted that. That's what her character wants. She aggressively pursues what she wants, and it isn't anything to do with him, which is not at Connor's fault. He read it, he understood. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, just things like that. There is no negative to women being sexual. If it's a grounded reason.
Yeah, if like
Right.
if that's all they do, then you have to start thinking, is this just a bad character? But if it's like an aspect, then it's like, no, that's a character. Male characters do the same thing.
And if I may, the reason I was sort of like harumph was
Literally
not
what you said as you were reading the script.
Yeah,
It was real weird. to watch.
Sitting in the corner.
You're just like harump, and I was like, Connor, are you having a stroke right now? What's going on?
does anyone else smell toast? I remember the reason I sort of like had a bad taste in my mouth for that scene. It wasn't her, it was a male character in that scene. And it was, I didn't think his choice to be an asshole to her and call her a slut, like on a dime, was earned. Because again, like, guys will say that, and in high school, guys will say that. They'll say a lot of stupid shit, particularly if they feel that their objectives aren't being met and their tactics are failing. Like, that's pretty human. I just didn't feel the moment was earned.
Fair.
And that's my problem with, like, the rhetoric that, you wrote a female character, or a character that is female, and they are sexual. Well, they'll say, you need to write strong female. And it's like, how do you know she is not, like, the most awesome character? She just happens to literally be a prostitute.
Right.
Not all female characters have to be strong female characters.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
agree with
problem
that.
that we're
Exactly.
all having. Why does every...
I feel
Some
that's-
women aren't.
I feel that's like extreme condescension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be
It's
like,
so-
this overcorrection. No. Granted, like, I agree. There should have been, and there was a correction, and there's continuing to be corrections in being more inclusive to females and minorities, and all that's great. But then don't glorify
That you're doing
because
it, or-
that's maybe not just as bad, but that's not good.
So it's kind of true of any like stereotype.
Yeah.
Also, this doesn't really exactly go along with that point, but
I know where you're going.
yeah, it goes along with any stereotype, which you shouldn't like have that be like the case always. But there's like, I'm not saying stereotypes are true for a reason. It's like, but some people will have that. I'm trying not to give any examples because it'll just sound like sexist or racist or whatever, but like if you have a movie where like there is an African American character who's not like the best father figure, people might say it's like, wow, because black people can't be good fathers. It's like, well, no, some people just aren't good fathers. This one happens to be African American.
Well, for example, I know if I ever get any kind of grip rolling as a writer, I'm going to get shit for my female characters because I don't write some broken characters. I write all broken characters. They're all fucked.
Yeah.
Because that's just what I, as a person, like. I'm an existentialist. I love writing that core, so broken you can't lie anymore character. And I'm sure, for example, Connor and I were talking about a show that we were going to try and write together, and the starting point for one of the main characters, who's a female, is waking up hungover from a one-night stand.
Literally, first shot of her is puking her guts out.
And
Just
how many
destroyed.
how many women do that all
Yeah.
over the world?
Right.
Yeah.
And so you get
So
that drunk.
so hungover. She is a
Amy Schumer makes
yeah.
millions on that.
She's presented as a weak-willed, single-minded person.
Right, which follows the scene of her brother being celebrating his campaign for running for the House of Representatives, getting elected. So a lot of people could look at that and say, "Oh, well, of course, the brother's a good guy. The sister sucks because she's a woman." No, the sister's in a bad place. She's going to go somewhere.
People are always going to find
Right.
something out of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
This is the noisiest dog who has not made a single sound by himself in the history of anything.
Yeah,
Like, I'm sure this is all getting picked up.
Yeah. Well.
If you hear crinkling, that's my dog playing with a pop bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a sack.
Yes, it's his favorite toy.
That's my favorite. Yes. So bringing it
Where
back
were
around.
we?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was this?
Yeah,
question?
poison ivy.
Oh, Poison Ivy.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because it would just to again say an alter ego of myself, like just not really caring about anything and just being a sexual being, or as seemed as a sexual being.
Yeah, just, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
Second round.
Yeah.
What would we call you?
All right.
Well, we kind of spoiled it in the last episode.
Doom.
Yeah, Doctor.
It's really hard to disassociate.
You're wearing a green shirt today. I mean,
Yeah.
that's literally.
And glasses, which I guess could be mask-like. No. Let's
No.
move on.
No.
Connor, your turn.
We get to pick.
I can't really say.
I can never remember his name, but the villain from Watchmen.
Oh,
It's my blonde
Ozymandias.
hair, isn't it?
No,
Adrian.
it's because you're the perpetual father figure,
Oh.
and he was basically putting Earth in timeout.
I have never heard someone say it. That Alex is making the face my soul is making right now. Which I don't know how to describe it. Like,
I mean, think. Am I wrong? His whole thing is he's the smartest man in the world, other than Dr. Manhattan, but he's omnipotent, so that's a different thing. And his whole thing is, I'm going to do this terrible thing because it's best for everyone, and that just is what that is.
I feel like putting someone in timeout,
right?
and the murder of like 500,000 people or more,
And one of your closest friends,
is just
and
slightly
blaming it on
different.
another one of your closest friends.
Sure.
I'm gonna piggyback on those characteristics and say Shaw from X-Men.
Oh,
Because he has all of those same attributes, and that's what I was going to pick too.
Kevin Bacon,
Yeah.
The Baconator.
the Baconator. Cool.
You.
Me. What's up, you guys?
Oh shoot! I don't even know. I should have really thought about this.
Oh, man.
Oh, you guys really? I've known this forever. You are Lex Luthor.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't agree.
Not like you are a very specific type of Lex Luthor.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, definitely
I can see that. Yeah.
And I'm going to say these words, and I don't mean them as bad as they sound.
All right.
But
Let's just do this.
we've made reference to you not I don't know.
Caring about things.
Caring about things.
Yes,
there's
yeah,
There's
okay.
a detachment. I'm going to do this because I can.
Yeah.
Because I want to. Why are you getting in my way?
Sure.
I understand why you're getting in my way, but that's dumb. Stop it.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to work around that. Are you a megalomaniac? No. Are you a complete narcissist? No.
Well.
But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was going to pick Harry Osborn.
And see, I was also going to go a different route. I think you remind me very much of the Riddler.
I was going to
Not-
say that too.
Not Jim Carrey's Riddler that everyone thinks of as the Riddler. I'm talking
You do look like him though.
the Riddler that was portrayed in Gotham, or
Oh,
at least
yeah?
pre-portrayed
Oh, yeah.
as Edward Nygma.
Right.
This
Edward
socially a little detached, but very intelligent person who ultimately rises to being a villain because of injustice.
And he's one of my favorite characters on that show.
Yeah, I mean,
Him
honestly,
and the
it's-
Penguin.
it is something that I could see happening. If you were to be a villain, I would imagine it's because something terrible happens, and you're essentially doing the same thing as Batman, but with a little bit less moral reserve.
Yeah.
All it takes is one bad day.
Yes. accurate.
Well,
I don't know why you had to say it like that, but yeah.
I'm gonna elaborate my Harry Osborn theory.
Yeah.
That because I've seen it where if someone picks at the same thing on you, you just either like shut down and completely lose it. And if someone ever brings that up again, you're like, I'm done. And I feel like eventually that's what Harry Osborn did. He finally got it and then just like exploded.
Sure.
So
Sure.
you have that attribute as well.
I do feel like if, like, you know, in the next couple of years or whatever, we start to actually develop alter egos and their actual super personalities that show up, there would have to be people that are villains, and I feel like that could easily be me.
Yeah,
I feel like I could easily like go super.
I feel the
now.
same way. I would go
Yeah,
villain way
I,
before I went.
It's like, you know what? I mean, I can rob this bank now. Like, that wasn't a thing before.
Yeah,
Now
you
that's
say weird
possible.
stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
He really does, and every once in a while, like,
I
feel
really
like
feel that I would be his Batman to his villain.
You
I
seriously
really
would.
do.
I would just
Yeah.
stay away from you
Yeah.
unless I was the Joker and I was trying
Yeah.
to deliberately like
If you-
tear you
yeah.
down.
Which is exactly what I think would happen.
I
Probably.
seriously,
That is exactly what would happen.
And I
Like,
would,
quit with these rules and your constructs.
I would be your Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Because that's just the type.
I think we have a great.
Uh,
I don't know what you're gonna do in this situation.
Dr.
Robin.
Doom's just gonna come in.
but not Dick Grayson, Robin.
Azrael.
What's wrong with
Azrael. Yeah.
What's wrong with
I
Dick
don't know that
Grayson? You
character.
guys,
No, he's not Dick Grayson.
Batman without rules.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
that was being kind of reductive.
Because I'm
but,
stuck
like,
in that white knight phase where I want to help people, but I'm also a nihilist who doesn't really believe in social morality.
Azrael is scary close.
yeah.
I don't know why we didn't think of this before.
interesting.
Awesome. So we
So
got
cool.
Azrael, Harley, Joker, and
Batman,
Batman. Okay.
Well, real Batman.
real Batman, instead of fake Batman.
So yeah, if metahumans ever exist, we know where we're going.
Although none of the people we described, except maybe Azrael in some situations,
Maybe.
are meta-human. They're all just people with gimmicks. We could just do that. Let's do it, you guys.
Yeah, let's just be heroes
just
and
be
villains.
it.
Let's just...
Connor, you need to get rich.
Yeah.
I feel like the Joker has to get rich too.
Yeah, he has a lot of
He has
gadgets.
a lot of costumes.
He has a Joker mobile. How did
He just kills people. He
Oh,
doesn't
he
need to
takes
get
their
rich.
money.
He just...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
All right. Well, this has been.
Hey,
What?
Jody.
nobody picked mine.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Gosh.
All right, let's go.
Jerk. I don't even want you to answer now. Again, it's such a small pool
Yeah.
to pull from, which I don't mind, but it just is.
Right.
Catwoman.
Catwoman's a good one. Yeah.
Because I feel that when we ask ourselves what will make us a villain, it has to be something that detracts, like we have to at some point give up on concepts of being good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if you lacked the good or bad, your ambition and your one-track mindedness would lead you to be someone who aggressively pursues whatever they want. And
Yeah.
that to me is what Catwoman does.
Going off of that, are you a hopeless romantic?
I want to be.
She's Carol Ferris.
Who is that?
She is Star Sapphire. So like Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, she was a love interest of his.
Yeah. Oh, is she the one?
But she got involved in a lot of his Green Lantern stuff, and she was given a sapphire, which is imbued, and it's passion. It's passion and love, but it consumed her, and she kind of sees the world as sort of like she kind of like the veil of like how like this good person sort of like it's lifted from her eyes, and she sees him as like a person who is worthy of being loved, and she realizes he isn't, and she feels like I almost died, like this being given, like this almost killed me, and you were just sort of cavalier about it. All right, well, fuck it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I
That's
like
cool.
that
Yeah.
one.
This one's not so much like a classic villain, but I think she played a villain role in the new Secret Wars, Civil War story in Marvel Civil War 2. Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
She's it's like Captain Marvel versus
Gonna be played by Brie Larson.
Woo.
So excited.
and Iron Man, I think.
Yeah.
Iron Man again. He's always going to war with the other Marvel characters, but they're like fighting about the future. They have this future visioneer, and half the group is like, we need to, like, if the future is going to be, like, in trouble, we need to take action and stop it, and the other half, and I can't, for the life of me, remember which is which. The other half is like, well, the future needs to stay intact, because it's the future, that's how it goes, so if somebody sees the future, we need to, like, keep it
That's
from
Tony.
being... Tony, yeah.
I
Because
mean,
he's
I'd
a futurist,
imagine.
so he'd, like, respect the future. or
Well, and
whatever.
also that comes down to, I think, the argument of do we treat things as if they are singular, isolated events that need to be corrected, or do we look at things in the grander scheme of things?
Sure, yeah.
And so,
In the angle that they take in the comic is like individuals' rights. They haven't committed the crime yet.
Right.
It's if you have predispositions, is that the same thing as you going to commit a crime? And surprisingly, Spider-Man falls on the line of, oh no, we stop him. We think they're going to do something, we stop him because he was on this kick of no one else.
Yeah.
You know.
So I don't know
The-
Captain
Marvel. yeah.
Captain Marvel.
The reason I...
What are the attributes?
Oh, she's a great DC. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
He's been rebranded. Never mind.
That's Shazam now.
Shut up.
She's at least in the vein. I don't read a lot of Marvel, but in the vein of this comic, she's very like steadfast, and she's like, I have this opinion, and not only am I not going to like dissuade and change my opinion, I'm going to go to war, and like there's going to be this huge fight because I feel this way, and like this is the way things need to be,
I guess I see why you would pick that for me.
and that is very you. She's not really a villain though.
She's a hero.
She's a hero, but
Yeah, that's why I was confused when you said that. I was like,
in this, like they both kind of are antagonist for each other, so I guess that's really the only way that I could think of. There not being a lot of great, because I mean, like Batman has some female villains, but there's never been like a bad guy of a story who's been female in comics that much. It's disappointing.
I'm sure there have.
Because they don't. Because going off the stereotypes again, people are like really want to be politically correct and be like, well, we can't have women be the bad guy because that means like now we're saying women are bad and evil instead of
well, if you want that, just read the Bible.
Ha! Nice.
Zing.
advanced fiction or whatever.
I mean, all I have to say is I try to go on without women. That's good luck.
Then we get
Yeah.
children of men.
Hey, how about we just stop writing female characters and write characters?
Boom.
No, I don't like that sentiment either.
Because that's another extreme.
Yeah, like I don't like that sentiment because then it's just everyone's just this great blob, and I know some people see the world that way, but the thing is, there is a difference. There is a biological, chemical, emotional, psychological difference between men and women.
Yeah.
Why do we have to erase that? Anyway,
Yep.
I think what I think people should do for a while is like whatever they write, just like literally just opposite every single character, and then see what that looks like. Because
Or-
that shouldn't break your
Right.
show.
Oh,
or
no,
your
right,
movie.
exactly,
And
yeah.
if it does, it's like maybe you've done something wrong.
or just try to like write,
Yeah, but
just like.
people don't.
Oh, I know, and that's
the
what
thing.
I'm saying. Like,
Right.
just
Like if you're not going to write like because I think what a lot of people do is they'll have just a majority male characters and like a few female characters, maybe like the token female and then a few others. It's like, well, switch that, see what happens then. Like have a bunch of female characters that are all varied and different. Have like one or two male characters.
Who directs the Shaun of the Dead movies?
Edgar Wright.
Okay, well, Edgar Wright, get your shit together because
Yeah.
you make the worst female characters. Just because.
Were there any at World's End? The World's End, except for the blanks.
Nope, I don't think so. Wait, no, there was the one
I feel like
love
there was
interest,
one
but not
girl.
really.
But it's the same exact. It's Liz, it's that, and it's whoever it is in Hot Fuzz. But
Right.
Yeah.
No, so a PSA from Peeves and Q's, write better.
Yeah, write better. Do better writing. Write stronger characters of all genders.
and on kind of like that same note, don't blame non-inclusive writing as like misogynistic. I was talking to somebody recently, and I'm pretty sure I told you about this. A friend of ours, Colton, and we have a mutual friend she is huge into Star Wars. Star Wars was her childhood. That is like her like pastime thing. And she was talking to me and Colton, and she said that, man, it really sucks that the original trilogy just did not have any more female characters, pretty much other than Leia.
Leia.
And we were both like, yeah, like that really kind of sucks.
Mon Mothma didn't
Yeah,
really lend a
like-
strong
I was
Right.
just gonna say
Right,
that.
exactly. And I'm like, I mean, though Leia I believe she is a strong character.
She is.
Yeah, I really believe she's a whole completed character. And she's like, yeah, I guess. And I said, well...
But it doesn't fit every girl's, glove.
Right.
We're not all Leias. I'm not a
and that's
Leia.
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And I said, and she's like, well... And I'm like, well, it's not like the original Star Wars were written to be misogynist.
No.
And she went, well... I'm like, no. You can say it's not inclusive enough. You can say
Yeah.
there's
Set
no
out
representation, but you cannot say it's
No,
misogynistic.
because Leia is the way that
And
she is.
also, like, I am very quick to jump on this bandwagon of contemporary writing. Oh, it's not inclusive. It's bad.
Yeah.
Or it's not good.
It's not diverse.
No. Yeah, well, it's not diverse, but maybe these are just the characters some people... They weren't trying to not be diverse.
Game of Thrones
You know what I mean?
has a
Yeah.
black character,
Yeah,
and everyone else is just like a white guy or girl.
right.
Right.
It's like,
But to
what?
that end, and I always, not only do I not jump on that bandwagon, I throw sticks in its spokes. I hate writing that is patronizing and inclusive for the sake of inclusivity as opposed to the sake of narrative. Like, I'm not going to lie, sometimes you just don't need a certain group of people.
Yeah.
For example, if you're writing a story about two best friends going to a comic book convention, do you need a female character? No. Might you have one? Sure. But don't just throw one in there to be the token female, because that's just arbitrary and insulting. No, write characters for your narrative.
J.K. Rowling didn't write Harriet Potter.
Okay.
Just saying. Like, she decided, like, hey, I'm going to make this giant franchise that everyone's going to love forever, and I'm going to make the main character male. Like, that's fine.
Right.
She didn't have to, like, forward the female agenda, I guess. And
Right.
make a female character. She was just like, it doesn't matter, it's just characters.
Right. So yeah,
Point.
that was a good conversation, guys.
Yeah, so, is that... Now are we?
Yeah, we're
Okay, good. Thank you for listening. This has been Peeves and Q's. You can find the podcast on Twitter at Peeves and Q's. You were right about the...
Gmail?
The Gmail account. It's, now I can't remember. It's
Peeves
and Q's
Podcast.
podcast at gmail.com. That's right. So,
Say it 3 times in the mirror, we'll just appear.
sure, yeah, we'll appear behind you. I'm on Twitter. I'm at Mr. Spell it the long way, Red 2342 2342. That's at Mr. Red 2342.
One more time.
At Mr. Red 2342. Thanks for listening, and come back sometime in the future. I don't know when.
But don't change that future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen to the rest of our podcast. We're pretty cool.
Does somebody have something to like end it on? Because I'm lost.
But bum.